Hey, it's Z from Zcode. I just wanted to show off some of my Newtonian flight physics and RCS systems for my work in progress game Void Merchants, where you fly on a little ship and dock to space stations and buy and sell cargo and make moolah. And so I just wanted to show you some of the RCS systems and some of the visuals I've been working on. So first of all, if you'll see, the ship is in the middle of the view, and as I move around, you can see that the camera just tracks the ship as it travels around. Now, also, you may be noticing that just like real life, it's following a totally Newtonian system where it maintains the inertia because there's no friction in space. There's no atmosphere, so if you apply force in one direction, it'll just keep going. So as you can see, I'll hit my RCS thrusters to the left, and there you go, and I'll just start drifting in that direction, and my hands are not on the keyboard, and it just keeps going. Alright, so I'm going to cancel my velocity by burning in the opposite direction. Now, so there's RCS thrusters in three directions. There's there's RCS thrusters that shoot from the left, which is these. There's RCS thrusters that shoot from the right, which are these, and then there's reverse RCS thrusters, which are these. And as you can see, they make you kind of drift in the various directions. And then there's also the main engines, which kind of serve as your main propulsion. They give you much greater acceleration than the RCS thrusters, so they're used for getting between places and accelerating to hyperspace and stuff like that. So as you can see, there's the little docking bay right here, so I'm going to maneuver in by using my reverse thrusters, and then once I'm lined up, I use my main engines to cancel my velocity. And then I'm going to shift left by using my RCS as correct with my main engines, drift through, slow down with these engines, see that I'm drifting up a little bit, and then line up right here, and then I'm good to dock. So I'll just get back out of here. And then, so now also I wanted to show off my collision system. So it's a really interesting, it's like this procedural based collision system where when I make the art assets for new stations, I just draw over in another layer a kind of a collision map, which is basically a color-coded map that is overlaid invisible onto this, and it's used for collision. So if you notice, I'm gonna just move over here, and it also, as you see, when I rotate, it also uses a little RCS thruster as a rotationary thruster. So I'm going to arrest my velocity in this direction and move over here. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to impact the top of this little part of the space station and see what happens. And if you'll notice, hold on, let me just stop. Alright, and then I'm going to accelerate towards the space station like that, and watch. Boing. So basically what happens is there'll be a damage kind of system later. It won't be anything special, it'll just be some shields and you'll be able to buy repairs, but you basically just bounce off the space stations. And how this works is that when it detects that one of the sensor points around the outside of the ship, like if the collision mesh of the ship has overlapped with the collision map of the station, what it actually does is it just, depending on what angle of the collision map, it'll just change your velocity vectors to account for the bounce, which is pretty cool. And also, if you noticed, if you're not close to a station or whatever, you wouldn't really be able to tell that you're moving at all, because there's no background. Well, if you look very closely, you can see that there's these dust particles moving across the camera, and it's actually used as a parallax effect because there's two layers of dust particles moving underneath the camera, which kind of gives a cool effect of moving. Now, for the navigation systems, if you look in the lower left-hand corner, you'll see that there's the UI here, and I'm still working on it being resizable for different resolutions of the window, but you'll be able to see that the radar is in the lower left-hand corner, and that will show the positions of all the space stations and any other objects if I choose to put those in, and you'll be able to and you can see the ship icon, you can see the icons of the stations, and those will be revised. Those are just placeholder icons. And you can see if I accelerate in one direction, if you look closely, you'll be able to see that the icon is now moving, and it'll move away and away and away. Now, as I was testing this, I noticed that as I was flying over like a space station or some other kind of brighter object, I noticed that it was kind of hard to see the radar because it was a transparent object. As you can see the little bits of dust underneath the radar, and so with the speed indicator, the little pane with the speed is also will also have more information than just the speed, but whatever. So what I did is I actually coded a little bit. It's all realistic, you know. If you press the period button, these little whoop things pop up, and it's these little covers to make the UI not transparent anymore. So if you're moving over something brightly colored or something, and you kind of want to see your radar better, or your map, or whatever I'm going to call it, better, then you can just you know, pop that, and then if you want to see behind it, you just, and then it pops back down. So yeah, that's kind of all I want to show you. That's a Newtonian system, but also there's a hyperspace. I've coded in so you'll be able to travel between star systems by jumping into hyperspace and then using your navigations computer to select a place that you want to go. So now I put in this special kind of little debug thing because it takes quite a while to accelerate to hyperspace speeds. So I made this. It's very temporary. It's not actually going to be in the real game, and it's just for me to show you. If I point directly upwards, I get this huge burst of acceleration. So I point my ship directly upwards, and I'm just going to hold the main thrusters. If you look at the speed, I'm going to accelerate at a just ludicrous amounts of acceleration. As you see, it starts glowing super brightly, and then BAM! This is the interior of the ship that you may have seen. Just to tell you that the background is totally placeholder. That kind of spazzy star animation is totally placeholder, as a lot of the stuff is. But yeah, that art, I've been working on the character animation, so that'll be really cool. There's going to be like a procedural clothing system, so you'll be able to like buy clothes for your little guy, and it'll animate correctly. So there's your bed and your computer and stuff. That large open area is where the cargo is going to be up towards the bow. That's the navigation computer. You'll go over and you'll be able to interact with that and choose your location. So yeah, that is the progress so far on Void Merchants, my upcoming game, and yeah, and I do have the character animations done, but those aren't implemented in the game yet, so I can't do that. Also, there's lots of like kind of under the hood stuff going on. Like I have a collision map set up for the ship, and I have a bunch of other graphic stuff, but they're just not implemented yet. So yeah, so thanks for tuning in. The blog, the development blog, if you want to stay tuned, is avoidmerchants.blogspot.com. And I'll be posting there regularly with maybe some dev builds for betas if you want to test it, some more pictures, more videos, all sorts of stuff. So yeah, thanks guys. Hope you find this interesting, and yeah, I might have a beta build up soon. So yeah, thanks.